Hey everyone, I'm back on the air. Yeah, if in terms of where I've been for the last couple of days, or the last week actually, part of it's been spent working on the WoW video which I've uploaded, which some of you would have seen by now. The other thing has been, to be honest, I really hate these headphones that I've got at the moment. I've got to get a new pair. The old pair that I had unfortunately ceased to work, or somewhat, and then I actually gave them to my younger brother, so it's unlikely that I'll ever see them again. So I am going to have to buy another pair. But yeah, anyway, I have been watching YouTube, and I have been watching Billy Bob Joe, Cradamic 2, Niso. I was actually watching Ian Crossland's newest video earlier as well, and Nisa's response to it. Ian for president, interesting idea. Yeah, it is an interesting idea. Anyway, I'm not really going to go into that because I try and avoid politics myself these days. It's interesting, but I just made a decision a while back. I think it was actually while I was watching The Secret. One of the things it talks about in that video is, if you want to improve your scenario, rather than focusing on what you're anti or what it is that you're having problems with, basically focus on what it is that you're actually in favour of. And I think that's actually why I stopped focusing on George Bush to the degree that I was. Even though I'm not an American, I did spend a lot of time reading about American politics. For a long time I was doing that for years actually, and also focusing on the war in Iraq, because I realised that I don't really think that there's any sort of simple solution to that. I mean, obviously it's something that the Americans are going to have to deal with. I mean, as I said, being this far sort of away from that part of the world, I mean, it's not really something. Well, see, this is the thing. To a degree, it does influence me directly, because Australia has a leader at the moment who is very, very close to Bush, or who wants to be very, very close to Bush. And so, to a degree, it does affect people living over here, but anyway, I decided to focus on things that, or to try and focus on things anyway, which could sort of go towards basically, I guess, trying to create a better future scenario, rather than focusing on sort of, I guess in terms of politics anyway, the negative sort of stuff that exists right now. Yeah, the other thing about why I haven't put a video up for the last week, I honestly feel, I mean, there's a lot, it's interesting because there's a lot that I feel that I could talk about, but I think unfortunately I'm falling into the populism trap a little bit, in the sense that I keep finding myself thinking that even though there's a lot that I'm thinking about and that I could talk about that I think is interesting, I don't know whether it's necessarily stuff that other people are going to think of as interesting. One of the things, for example, today, where I was trying to work on what I've been trying to do with Linux, and I've realised that it's a lot of it's basically over my head. And not only that, there's been some work that I have done with it and that has succeeded, but I just realised that people aren't interested really in what it is that I've been doing. most of the people, or not most of the people aren't. Most of the people are very positive associated with Linux, but there is a fairly sizable and very vocal minority of people using Linux who are some of the most vindictive, negative people that, to be honest, I've ever come across. And it really basically drains whatever pleasure or enjoyment I think I could otherwise get out of working with the system. Because, yeah, some of the people in the Linux user base, they're just really, really rotten people. So, given the amount that... I mean, I know I've said this before probably, and I've thought about it before, but given the amount of negativity, I am seriously thinking again about permanently walking away, because it's just... I mean, the problem is that I do want an open source operating system myself for my own use, but I don't know whether Linux can be it, because there is just so much negativity, there is so much bullying, there is so much vitriol, there is so much zealotry, and I'm breaking my own rule here of saying that I wasn't going to talk about what I'm anti earlier, but this has been something that's really been eating me up, and you know, it's really been bothering me, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about it, but I think I possibly am going to have to think very seriously about walking away, or at least trying to. I mean, I really don't want to, because from the point of view of a strictly technical standpoint, I love the system. I really do. I love working with it. I love using it. But it's just, as I said, it's just the people. It's purely the people. Linux from a technical aspect is great. It's just from a social aspect, it really sucks. And I mean, I'm not the only person who's commented on that either. There have been quite a lot of other people who've noticed that. Anyway, that's really enough about that. I've also been playing a lot of WoW. I'm in the process of helping someone start an alliance guild, which is very unusual for me. Up to this point, I've been playing WoW for about a year, and up to this point, I've only really played pretty much exclusively Horde. I've started a couple of Alliance characters, but I've never really done anything major with it. There are some reasons which probably don't really have all that much to do with the game itself, admittedly, why I really don't like the Alliance. I don't like the way that they're depicted in the game in a lot of ways. I mean, most people would probably say that I'm a nerd and that I'm basically reading too much into it, but I think there are some undercurrents there that have always sort of really put me off the Alliance. But at the moment, I'm basically trying to think, well, you know, maybe I have been taking that a bit too seriously, and I'm going to sort of give essentially that faction of the game another go. And so I've started a paladin, a male paladin character, and that's turning out interesting. Human paladin. Yeah, so that's the other thing that I've been doing. For some reason, my voice is becoming hoarse now. Anyway, I'm going to get off here. I did just want to say, though, one of the main reasons why I've really felt a strong desire and a need to come back on here is that out of all the different things that I've been trying to do lately, when I'm making videos, and I really noticed this when I was making the WoW video, the only time when I really feel, when what I'm doing really feels right, when what I'm doing really feels like what it is that I'm meant to be doing, is honestly when I'm actually making a video, whatever it is, in order to put up here. And I think maybe I need to take a bit more notice of that feeling and possibly go with it. Because I think that's one of the other things about Linux. I really don't think that I'm meant to be doing that, and I think I've been swimming against the tide with that a bit. I've been railing against that because for whatever reason I still really wanted to do it, but I've just had this feeling in the back of my head that, James, this isn't really what you're meant to be doing. So yeah, I am going to really look at that, because I think my intuition in that sense possibly is trying to tell me something. And there we go again. I feel bad talking about that because someone in the reply that I made to the Daxter, the initial reply, someone actually accused me of quote unquote thinking like a woman, and mentioning the word intuition I guess probably doesn't really help to dispel that image. I am not someone who adheres terribly strongly to gender stereotypes. Yes, I am heterosexual, in case anyone's asking, but intuition or instinct, if you want to call it that, if you're more comfortable calling it that, is something that I do try and pay attention to, and I don't believe that it's necessarily an exclusively female thing. Anyway, yeah, I am going to shut up now, so I'll talk to everyone later. I will definitely post more soon though, because I am enjoying this. And I do value enormously the people that I watch and who I have as subscribers. I got another letter from Mad Bad Voodoo the other day, which was really good. Yeah, so, and Lucifer knows you. To answer you, I'm fine, though thank you for asking. Hi. I'll talk to you soon.